Welcome to World War II Online. Today I'm going to be showing you how to find action in the game. When you open the game on Steam, you'll have a page that says Join the Battle Campaign. That's when you want to click. You click Join the Battle, it'll bring you to this page where you get to select what unit you want to be in. So today we're going to select any of these. I'm going to go start with British and the Army. So I recommend that if you're new to the game, always select Army because that's where there's most likely going to be players there to help you. So after you select Army, go down here and click Select Brigade. There it will bring you to this page with active battles. So as you can see, these are battles that we are currently in. These are the mission leaders. These are the towns where you spawn from, and this is what your target is. Here you can see if there's a mobile spawn point, which is a player-placed object that is spawnable for infantry. This is the activity. This is very important if you're wanting to find players. A full bar means that there are more people online. But I always recommend right when you enter the game, go to the radio down here, hit enter and it opens the radio, type in the command .obj space C and hit enter. Then there'll be a little report down here. It says what we're doing. So right now we're attacking Lokeren and we're defending West Capelle. As you can see, West Capelle is up here. That is one of the objectives. But if you're looking for enemy action, it has a /CON after the town name. That means the enemy holds some of the capture points there. Also, another way to tell is that you can click on any of these missions, and the map over here brings you to what the town objective is. As you can see, the Germans have just taken over one of the depots. So if you're wanting to find action, I would recommend you spawn in a town that has enemy-held territories. And also another thing is right under the town name right here, it shows you if there are enemy troops in that area. As you can see, there is a little orange infantry shaped man. If he's fully orange, that means there's a lot of enemy action there. So, and then that's how you find action in the game. And if you're wanting to spawn in, you go down here, click Mission Briefing. Once you click there, it brings you to the Ready Room, where you can select what weapon you spawn in. So here is your list of weapons you can spawn in. If you have just joined, you would likely only have the Rifleman class, which is the most versatile unit in the game. As you can see, let me show you what he has. He has 4 grenades, 2 smoke grenades, a satchel charge, ammo resupply packet, a combat knife, as well as his bolt action rifle. He's the most versatile unit. If you are free to play, it is a very great option to spawn in with. And that is all. That's how you find action. If you want to spawn in, you just hit Enter World, and it will bring you to the spawn point of your selected mission. That is all. Right now, we're going to be covering how to fight in World War II Online, the combat mechanics, and otherwise. So we spawn in as a German rifleman. It's basically the standard unit that you will get as a free-to-play or as a low-level player. And our main focus in combat for you right now is to get you leveled up, to get you more access to better weapons. So as you can see at the top right corner, there is a mini-map marking the target. If we open our map, we can see basically the town here. So the American flags denote basically the enemy-held territory because we are German right now. And as you can see, we own 1 depot. So that is spawnable. As if you zoom out here, we own Liège. This town is Tongeren-Liège. So we can spawn there if we choose, but we have spawned in the FMS for instructional purposes. So as you can see, one of our teammates here, as you can see, he's moving. That's a teammate. He's moving towards the center of town, basically to attack the rest of these. So the main point of the game is basically to capture enemy towns to gain more percent of Europe, and whoever controls 95% or more wins the campaign, or if you capture all the enemy factory towns. So we're going to run into town here, but remember, be careful when you're running into the town because there's likely snipers on top of buildings. There's AI emplacements, which we'll cover on how to get rid of those and deal with those a little bit later, but I recommend running along in the bush line and the tree line. Don't just run out blindly because you're most likely going to get killed. And as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little bit of a HUD showing how many rounds I have in my rifle. And then there's the red bar, which is your health, and then there is the green bar, which is your stamina. Now, this isn't your classic first-person shooter game where you just regenerate health and all that. If you get hit, usually it's a one-shot kill with any weapon, and sometimes you get hit in a non-vital location, so it results in wounds. And there is no medic class, and I am not sure if there will be, but basically the best idea is just to despawn if you get wounded, because there is a supply chain in this game. There's tickets, which basically allow you to spawn a certain number of troops before they are out of supply. So don't just bum rush in things, because you die, that reduces the number of tickets your team has to attack this town. And the rifleman has a very varied loadout. So he has your bolt action rifle, which is basically your main defensive weapon and offensive weapon. You have explosive grenades, which are used to take out AI nests. You have smoke grenades to conceal your movements, as you can see here. You have a combat knife, if you feel so inclined. And then there is a satchel charge. This is used for blowing up enemy mobile spawns, as you saw back there. But if it's owned by the enemy, you can blow them up with 4 of these. And then lastly, there is an ammo resupply can. This you can give to other players to resupply LMGs, Mortarman, and the like. So as you can see, we're basically in town now. As you can see, the buildings around me. And we run along into the center. We're more likely to find enemy troops defending. This is the training server, so there isn't much action here. I'm doing it for training purposes, as the name denotes here. And we're going to run into the town and look for some AI to show you how to get rid of those. So grenades, as you can see, there's no crosshair here. It doesn't show you where your grenade's going to go, none of that stuff. And there's muzzle flashes in the game to basically let you know that there's enemy fire and if there's action in that area. You can see down there, that is an AI tower. It is down, so it is. You can just run right up to it and there'll be nothing that'll happen to you. And I also recommend when you're running around in town, look in the windows, because there is very likely to be snipers hiding in there and the such. So regenerate our stamina, and then we're going to run further into the town. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a flashing kind of animation on these walls because the person behind me is shooting. So we keep running. This building here, this is a capture point. You need to go inside of it, and you need basically to kind of like watch the doors until it is captured. I'll show you what it looks like inside. But I recommend before you go in, look around, kind of make sure there's nobody watching the doors. I also recommend grenades. So the proper way to throw a grenade is you aim to the left of where you want it to go with the rifle, then switch, and then basically throw it. So German grenades have a flatter trajectory than Allied grenades, and they don't tend to bounce as much. Then you run in there. Usually it also helps if there is a lot of enemies. Throw a smoke in there so they can't see you as you run in. But as you can see in the bottom right corner, there is basically a HUD telling me that I'm capturing right now, which is the thing marked Tongeren City. It has a blue arrow and it's slowly moving. Once that bar is completely blue, we captured it and we own that facility. Capturing gives you 50 points, which you need to rank up. And as you can see, this is an enemy AI tower. If you shoot your rifle at it, it will do 0. So you must blow it up with grenades. It's kind of different from most games' AI. Oh, here's another one. Anyway, so the best way to take these out is your handy-dandy hand grenade. So using the same tactic I showed you earlier, just launch that sucker in there. Sometimes it's trial and error. As you can see, I kind of suck with grenades. But, oh, I got it. Anyway, that's how that works. You blow them up, and then they cannot shoot anymore, because if you run in front of them, they'll just gun you down. So you got to kind of basically take these out. They give you a couple of points for blowing them up, which is also useful for ranking up. However, they can be repaired with the engineer class, but that is not important right now. Anyway, you use them, you blow up these towers. As you can see, I completely missed. But that's how you kill AI towers. And as you can see, if you just shoot at them, it can only be used killing you can only kill AI by using grenades. I wasn't sure if you saw that muzzle flash, but that means there's a sniper here nearby shooting at you. So basically, the best way is to use cover. Don't just rush in. Rambo never works in this game. Also, oh, that's dying right there. Basically, when you die, this happens. You're doing a little spin around you, and that's kind of useful for telling where the enemy is. And now I'm going to show you how to use the map. As you can see, right here, you can tell who killed you, how many points you on, what rank you are, all that. We're going to re-enter the world here. Then I'm going to basically show you how the map works. So you open the map, and as you can see, I died by the army base, which was that walled structure you saw. I died right about here. So what you do is, this is very recommended, you right-click, hit add report, and then it shows you all this stuff. It tells enemies, basically shows where enemies are to other players on your side. So I'm going to hit the danger mark. You mark that, the enemy now know, well, not the enemy, your other fellow teammates know that there is some kind of enemy presence there. That's how you use the map. And then I also recommend using the radio. So using the function buttons, that's how you use the radio. If you just hit enter and type in, it goes to area chat. So everyone with 100 meters can hear you, including the enemy. So use the channels because those cannot be accessed by the enemy. So I use F2 because everyone attacking that town can see what you're saying. So I always type in enemy action, my mark, army base, which is abbreviated to AB capitalized. So once you type that in, everyone on your mission target can see that. So now they know that there's enemy in the area of the army base, so they need to watch out. That's how you use the radio, that's how you kill AI, and that's how you throw grenades properly. And that's all for now. To avoid enemy tanks and to help assist other players in finding them. So, as you might already can tell, enemy troops are not shown on the minimap, and friendly troops are. So there is a little thing that can aid other players in finding enemy troops by marking, as I showed briefly in my last segment of this video. So my teammate here in making this video, Solez, is driving an enemy tank up to my location. I don't have game audio, but you can hear it coming. So allied tanks are less clanky in noise, and Axis tanks are clanky. So as you can see here, I'm running along, coming into the town, and there's an enemy tank approaching. I cannot really tell where, but you can hear it. You'll know it when you hear it. But anyway, I am staying in the bushes because I know it's here somewhere. And they have machine guns and cannons, which will kill you like that. So you got to basically stay hidden. And your goal as a rifleman is you can't really take out a tank. You could disable it with your satchel charge by blowing its tracks. But the main idea is to mark it so anti-tank guns, sappers, and whatnot can find it and deal with it better. Because if you blow the track on an enemy tank, it can still kill you with its machine guns. So the best way to do it is mark it and then allow somebody who has the weapons properly to kill it to deal with it. So I'm going to try to find this tank so I can mark it. And you cannot run. So these bridges, you can glitch through this wall here, but on the other side you cannot. So it's basically a kill zone. It's best to just run along, gives you cover, and always kind of duck into buildings when needed. And, ooh. So tanks can cut their engines, so you can't really hear them. But if you look down there, there is some kind of shelling going on. And there's also machine guns firing. So you want to kind of find this tank and mark it so your teammates can find it. So as you can see, the tank is probably over here somewhere based on where the shells are going. So the whole goal is you don't want to get super close to it. You just want to see where it is and mark it accurately on the map. So you want to stay under cover as much as possible. Keep your head down. As you can see, the tank is right there. Now, if you're sneaky enough, it won't see you, but usually good tankers are very good sight. It's shooting my way, so the best way is to kind of like sneak over here. Now, my teammate here would have killed me if it was a combat situation, but here we're doing it for demonstrational purposes. As you can see, his turret is not facing this direction, so you are most likely not going to be seen because they're probably looking through their gun sights right now. And you can see the tank, and you can see the commander sticking his head out and with the hatch. So he's definitely looking out that way. He's facing the FMS, usually to camp it, but since he doesn't see you, the best thing to do is you give a rough mark. So you right-click, hit Add Report, and then you go Enemy Armor. Mark it, and then, as usual, go into the radio, use your F2 chat, and say ET marked. And then you use the cardinal directions. This is the east side of town. Put that in the radio, and then that directs players into finding your target. And then now what you do is you want to sneak away. You don't want to stay near an enemy tank. And usually there are infantry watching it, so people don't blow it up. Sometimes there isn't. Sometimes it's just a lone ranger of a tank, and then you could try putting your satchel charge on it. So if you're going to be a ballsy guy, get your satchel charge and try to sneak up on it. You want to always make sure you throw a couple of smokes at it. You want to smoke it up. That's always helpful to your teammates, because then that tank can't see them. They can't see very well. So you wait until the smokes pop. It takes a little bit for the smoke grenade to pop. So you got to wait. And now you see that nice cloud of fog. You can switch your explosives and see if you could slap one on the tracks. That's basically the most useful place for it, because they usually despawn, or if you want to get rid of the guns, slap it right there on the turret. It usually helps, and then you want to run away, obviously, but that's what you do. You kind of duck back here, wait for it to blow, and as you can see, that's how you deal with a tank rifleman. It doesn't necessarily kill very well, but it does kind of incapacitate them. And that's how you deal with the tank. As you can see, his commander can face different ways, but that's how you deal with the tank.